These ingredients that I'm bringing you right here is for men's growing health. Whatever that means for you, whatever type of help you need in your growing area, it will solidify this. Believe me. The dry herbs, make into a dark tea, and add the liquids later. Add honey for sweetness. Here's the list. You already know the vibes. Y'all know how I get down, right? Well, these some of the channels I watch and I frequently watch. You know what I'm saying? I watch a lot more, and they'll probably be on the next list. But for right now, these are the channels I'll be watching right now. So like, comment, subscribe to these channels. You already know the vibes. And tell them Naga sent you. You already know. Do it.
Abundance, my people. Yes, abundance to you all. Abundance to you all. Sunblood, yes, you feel that weather out there? You feel that sun? You feel the rays of the sun? Sunblood, sunblood, sunblood. You must have the blood of the sun and the consciousness of the universe in order to move forward in what we call the Great Awakening, the age of Aquarius. The age where the truth is more disturbing than the lie. This is what we must understand. It's the truth is more disturbing than the lie. We must understand this, my people. And this is why, you know, my videos is shadow banned. This is why I've been at 70. Let me show y'all something. I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see this or not. Let me tell how funny this is, right? Let me show y'all how funny this is. Abundance to y'all.
Grand Rise, Grand Rise, Grand Rising, and everything. I took yesterday to let all the downloads constantly just come in. And I'm gonna start this out by saying it is wonderful to be able to access knowledge in books of people's perceptions in the past of how they've seen the same information that we are now hardly privy to. It is great to see everybody start to waking up to the vibrations and the wave consistency, understanding the detriment of people using this manipulation to funnel our personal energies for their own personal gains. It's great that you can find this in books. But what's more perplexing is, are you pulling this in naturally? Can you pull away from everything that the system has to offer? We about to get into it, and I'm about to destroy a lot of concepts. Hey, look, the whole day, just knowledge was just bang, 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 coming in from so many different aspects. This paper is turned around like so many different times because every little piece of knowledge that would come in, I would just get a pencil and write it down, get a pencil, write it down, and say nothing, and then focus on it and let the conversation come in, right? So we about to get deep. First and foremost, everybody be screaming about this virtual reality, virtual reality, virtual reality. Aqua Nation. You know what I'm saying? Salute, salute. You know what I'm saying? You on that Aquarius, that air. I feel you. Salute. I'm a Cancer though, so Cancer Nation over here. You dig what I'm saying? Cancer Nation. Nah, but I'm gonna start out by saying virtual reality. Everybody be saying this is a virtual reality. Watch how I break this down. It's gonna blow your mind how I break this down. Virtual reality. Virtue all. Virtual. So the first part is virtue. What is virtue? Virtue is a behavior of high moral standards. That's what virtue is. The behavior of high moral standards. Now, secondly, you all. Virtual. You all was difficult. Because when I went to look up you all, it had so many definitions. I'm like, yo, how can one word mean so many things? And who would actually make this a reality? The Confuser would love to do this and put this in perspective because he doesn't want you to find out the truth. One of the definitions was fellatio. Like, you all really means giving somebody head. It said that, the first word, giving someone head. I'm like, are you serious? Another one of the definitions had to do with, I don't know, it was just so many. It was like I seen like over 30 in the list. I'm like, how do you have 30 different definitions for you all? But one that stood out to me, and it hit me, and I was like, there it go right there. That's it. You all, the undergraduate to society. The undergraduate to society. We all know what undergraduates are, the failures. So virtue, all. You all. You all. Virtue, you all. They put those two words together. And now you believe you live in a simulation. You believe you live in some computer animated circumstance that's generated by a group of people. Now, the thing about a lie is the more you believe in the depths of the power of the lie, the more the fear, the grandeur value of the fear perplexes the value. There's movies today that speak to, and it was a movie I was watching earlier. It's crazy because they had it was a time where they were if you didn't live to I think it's called the Human Bureau or something like that. And if you didn't live up to the standards that was on the list, they would make you leave your house and they would send you to a place that had these large furnaces where they would just burn everybody up and get their bones and their ashes and box it up and use it. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, we can't tell people that when we send them away to Eve, that we killing everybody else. You know what I'm saying? We kill people who we don't think is serving the system. And this was their whole thing. Like, they killing you if you don't put no effort or serving the system, right? So it's deep like that. That was this movie. So ultimately, when you believe the strength of the how, like, if you believe that the monster is more scarier than the monster, then you know what, you are trapped in that mental aspect. This is why these two understandings to come together and actually be used as a lock and key. You're throwing away your moral compass for the undergraduate aspect. You're ending the sentence with, I'm an undergraduate of society. You come in that word saying that you have a high moral compass. And the ending of the word, the syllables speak to the definition of being an undergraduate of society. So then every time something is perplexing to a value when it comes to you, your growth, you have to get it from something. You are seeing yourself as lesser than to the opposing value, not even know you're picking up that frequency. And if you remember the downloads we were speaking to in the last lives, I tell you the frequencies are keys. They go like this. They go like this. So when they hit you in a certain way, they can unlock things or they can lock things. This is what you got to understand about these different frequencies. Depending on how they come at you, they can lock things or they can unlock things. This is something that you have to be clear and understanding on. So virtual reality is a concept put together to lock and unlock you out of the reality of that concept. Virtual, once again, meaning the behavior of high moral standards. You all, meaning the undergraduate of society. How do you put these two concepts together to make a word that's formulated? Now, everybody uses it as the concept of that we're trapped. It's mind boggling to me, but I understand that perplexity because it was a word that's naturally trapping you. But you don't know that because you didn't break it down. Next topic, we're going to keep going. And that's just what I wanted to start off with. Like, everything was flowing in like boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah. Before I even get into more of these topics, I did want to specify on understanding something. When you are dealing with the universe and you're dealing with these waves and they're unlocking values in you, you have to speak to that. That's giving the power back to the universe. Not saying, "Oh, I got these downloads," and then you wouldn't explained it with the perception of another individual or person. No, I'm literally standing on my own too, showing you knowledge that I'm downloading out of the universe that you can go cross-reference yourself in a book. No, I'm telling you, I'm tapping in directly to the universe, and you can too. You can too. Yes, it's good to prove to everybody that these words was written in the past. You know why? Because these people felt the same thing through their oppression. But now we're going to stand stronger on a whole nother aspect by showing and proving that we gravitate this energy down into us. The physical capability of pulling in frequency, speaking out knowledge, divine principle. No, ain't no books around me. No, ain't nobody building with me. I'm pulling this in myself. Shake with me. This is the reality. You feel it, but you don't want to speak to it. You feel it. This is who you are. You are a fish in the water. This is your attribute. This is who you are. This is what you're capable of doing. Pulling down this melanin energy and using the information downloaded into your mind and speaking it into fruition. But comprehension first. That's why it comes through in levels. You had a brain for it to, be comprehended it before it comes out through your understanding and your vocal cords and you speak it into fruition. That's you understanding the power of the universe. So why do I need to keep going to get a middleman? Whether it's in a book, whether it's somebody who think they got all the knowledge in the world, at the end of the day, and this leads to my next point. Hold on. Oh yeah, we on today. Where's that? Still growth alone and together. You're gonna still grow alone and together. It really don't make a difference. If I accumulate 100 million people watching minds, or I accumulate one person and touch them in divine meaning, the separation of the value, it doesn't mean no different. One is egotistical, one is purposeful. Just because 100,000 people hear me don't mean 100,000 people comprehended me. And I know that. But just because one person stayed with me all the way through, I know they learned everything that divine was giving me. So that seed got planted correctly. Yeah, we could plant a bunch of trees. That don't mean they all gonna produce fruit neither. So we can grow together, or I'm still gonna win with one. It really don't make a difference. There's no shots that can be taken at me. I'm a part of all or a part of nothing. That means I'm everything. That's both sides. I can sit in the balance of good and bad because I know both indifference. The one I serve is my choice. You can't pull me to one side and say, "Oh, you lacking because this looks good or this is what's considered to be good." Or you doing good enough because we consider what you got to be bad or good. You can't pull me either side. You don't even know me. You don't know nothing. I could be sitting on the top of the tree every day, eating pine needles. and show up with this part of me and this part of me correct. You don't know nothing. You know nothing. You have no clue. But because I can hold my tongue and I can hold my energy and I speak to a value of truth, you believe. This comes to my next point. When you try to be somebody else, you are selling everybody who knows you or who's in a circumference of you short of having who you are. Why do you want to be somebody else because it looks good or it sounds good or it's the closest to the level of truth that you never had? You are selling yourself short and people short of experiencing who you are. You are defiling the divine. You are running away from the Most High because you don't like yourself enough to find out what's inside of you that can be grown into a whole nother aspect, blown in light, hitting the refractions, boom, 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 boom. Let's see how you shine. What you shine like? Nah, you too busy trying to shine like them. You selling everything that knows you, where you came from, your creational aspect, who's determining on you being a great light. You selling them short. You selling them short. So I can't tell you what to do because I'm shining the way I like to shine. You got to do it the way you are put together. This is why you got to go back down inside you and get that kid. And you got to tell him you sorry. And you got to fix him or her. And you got to strengthen those values. You got to be ready to shake with that. You got to be ready to shake with yourself. You're going to always be outside of your mind like this, pointing and pulling. That is addiction. Let's go into a commercial real quick. Yeah, y'all already know the vibes, and we got tons and tons more. We're going to cook today. We're going to cook. The stove is on. Let's get your mind right. Stop playing with the vibes and all that. You know what I'm saying? If we going to do it, we ain't here. See, and you know what? I'm going to get into that when I come back, though. I'm going to get into that when I come back because I was about to see. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave y'all with some fire to think about real quick. Yeah, we supposed to take all the pressure. Yeah, we go through all this for a reason. Yeah, we get all the smoke. But to say that we are supposed to be deemably held to a certain principle because we get the smoke and this right here allows us to grow. No, I got to go in every single place of existence to expose everything. I got to break all locks. So I'm going to be there. What you mean? So that means you got to have capability of being there. That means you got to have means of being there. That means you got to be in these places that everybody else be. You got to be dumb strong on a whole nother level. So no, we don't get separated from the same value that they think they got for themselves. No, we got to get all that because we got to go in there and break it. Let's get into this commercial, though. I'll be right back. Vibes. It's Naga back. Another set of my core commercials. You know how I like to get down. So if you subscribe to me or you want to know what I'll be checking out, here's another list. I'll be bringing another list to y'all next week. Or maybe in a couple of days. Who knows? I'm all over the place. But check out these right here. These are some of my favorites I'll be watching. You know the vibes. Naga. Okay, we're gonna continue. So like I was saying before when I left off, um, and I'm gonna give you an understanding to it, because a lot of times they think that because we're getting this knowledge, because we're going through all this oppression or whatever, that we are supposed to be deemedly broke, never experienced a high value of life. Nah, that's the contrast. The way they experience this high value is not correctly. We're going to experience the same situation, but in a divine manner. And how you get there, and I'm about to give everybody the blueprint. So understand why I'm dropping this right now. This is food. This is food I'm about to tell you, because niggas don't think like this. And I always got hated on for giving this little piece of knowledge right here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna show you where it changes the whole process of the entire world if everybody jumped on this value, right? So first and foremost, you have a particular skill that you have or you like to do for yourself. The way this grows, and I would be like in different situations. Like I got a whole nother channel where I grow, you know what I'm saying? I grow weed. I've been growing weed for like over 20 some years. Besides that, I grow plants and other, you know what I'm saying? I love trees and stuff like that. So I got a whole nother page where I've been doing that for a minute, but I ain't been doing it, you know, in the last, I don't know, 2.5 years, 3 years or something like that. So ultimately, that page, I would take all my skills, all my graphic design skills, anything that I had, and I would see people who got these companies and they're trying to get up off the ground, but they ain't got no money to get themselves seen or advertised in the right way. So what I would do is I would go get all their stuff and I would create advertising for them. And then I would go take my money and I would go buy the posters that would be advertising for them in bulk. I would go get the stickers and all that, the hats, the memorabilia for them. And then I would sell it to them as I was the warehouse. That's because that was my particular skill to do that. You see what I'm saying? That's something I'm capable of doing. So I was able to get at the people. People would hate on me, be like, yo, why are you doing this for people? Because they need the opportunity. So now while I'm doing it for somebody, I'm showing other people what it looked like. Other people who got money and they like this aggression to putting something together, they will come to me and ask for my services. Each and every one of you got the same opportunity. You got something that you do for people, something that people like in you, that's just you particularly. Go do that for 10 people. Go do that for 10 people and put something down saying that you do this for 10 people. Show people that this is what you do. Make those people happy by satisfying them. That's you putting in your divine work, giving it to somebody, sacrificing free. You putting your whole time in, you free sacrificing. You giving it all to choice. In your choice, you've chosen an array. You giving your divine concept and creation to these people without no regard, unconditional, to better them. And in that same process, you get that energy back. That's reversed and taken. These other people, they go through the world taking their whole life. They take. That's all they know is taking. So we will succeed by doing the opposite. This is the contrast. You will never be a sucker by being the person who gives love unconditionally. Because some people out here in their companies who've been living, they tired of the takers that work for them. They want somebody who's gonna give that feeling because they know how to do it. They want somebody to come in there and really work that energy. So they can say, you know what, I ain't got to look over my shoulder. I'm gonna pay you some more money. Let me make you straight because I see you love doing this. This is the motion that's gonna set you in. This is your way out. Share this, clip this, put this in the short, put that little clip right there, put that in the shorts. Let people see. They need to know that they got a way out instead of condensing your value of who you are as love. No, go out there and cook. Because while you doing what you doing for these people, you learning, you getting nice. You putting in hours to your skills. Done walked up on 10,000 hours and didn't even know it. You done mastered your skill. People loving what you do because you chose who to bless with your skill. People see it. It comes back to you full circle. That's 100% sacrifice. You get 100% sacrifice back to you. Unconditionally. Yes, they take. So they develop people who take. And they can get a bunch of takers. It's like having a bunch of ants. Everybody take it for the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? But we rise on a higher level. We help people to where they become generationally wealthy. We don't just feed people, we teach them how to fish. We ain't take nothing. We've given and given and given and given. Without us, you don't got the oil for the civilization. You don't got the stick. You don't got the solidification to hold it together. Your inventions, your everyday uses that you use so nonchalantly. Without my side, see, we create all this value. Understand that's who you are. Next topic. Back to judgment, the judgment concept, the functions, and the future degradation, the detriment. How far can you go to your own personal demise? Either way, no matter what side, no matter what particular side that you're choosing, good or bad, you need to leave the judgment aspect alone. To judge is only you perplecting a certain particular energy, and that energy is coming off of you. So that means you're taking the universal energy and you're taking a moment to create that energy into that, a judgment. So judgment, no matter where you're judging or what you're judging, you are creating the value of a particular energy and you're pushing it into the universe. So it's saying judgment. It doesn't matter what you're judging. It doesn't matter what particular energy you had to deal with. You're pushing that into existence. So therefore, you agree with certain values. Ultimately, we don't think that when we are a part of certain circumstances and we agree to the heinous or the happy in that particular moment, that we are really using that as a judgment aspect. You can observe, but quickly let things go in and out of your mind depending on their own personal value. And this right here will save you from degradation, because ultimately what happens is when you hold on to these things, you are becoming this weighted energy. I had somebody on my show, if y'all remember a while ago, the queen, I can't remember her name. She was talking or whatever. She did reads. She spoke to the fact that actually put me on, because I thought it was only 3.5 grams. She was like, it's 21 grams that's documented that leaves the body of light when the soul goes. And that's a powerful understanding, because having that and then knowing that the light is actually leaving your body, that means you have a lot of weight that you have to disperse in order to allow the light to grow. So can you grow that 21 grams to something bigger? Can you be more spiritual in the light form aspect? And then this happens because the body starts to get lighter. This is how you know you're growing your physical, your spiritual energy larger, because your physical attributes of your body starts to get lighter. Your need for outside things start to become lesser. Um, all the attributes that you would need to be as more into, like I would say, the systematic world, you know what I'm saying? Like to fit in what they call the systematic world will change in a different way, and you will reflect energy in a completely different way. You will look and start to merge into a spiritual casing. Spiritual casings are light because they're allowing the spirit to almost be birthed or bloomed. So when the spirit can come on top of the body will be small and compacted inside the spirit once you become in something completely different. And there's not too many documents that speak to this value, but I keep being shown this. Universal beings with bright light and a body on the inside. It's some type of, but it's hard to see because the light is so bright. So that means something has came from within outward, right? That is you focusing on everything that you are spiritually in that aspect. Okay. So, all right, this brings me to my next concept. When the spirit falls into the form or into the forms of what we call physical attributes, it is falling through the etheric reason, and it's picking up the universal mineral aspects before it actually comes into the body and goes through the womb and solidifies through that fleshly concept, and then merges to a baby and then grows into what we call life. But when this energy is falling through the ether, it is literally picking up information. It's remembering. How many of you, and this is probably few and far between, but how many of you has had dreams as a kid of falling? Just, I don't know, you wake up, like you jump up out of your, like you might have fell asleep on the desk at class, and you like, and you wake up You know what I'm saying? Like you was falling. Like you couldn't shake that dream for nothing as a kid. I had that particular problem. Like every time I fell asleep as a kid, I was always falling. I'm like, yo, why I always go to sleep and I'm falling? Yo, I hate this. And then eventually I hit the ground. I remember this as a kid in my dreams. I literally hit the ground, and I didn't hurt anything. When I hit the ground, I landed on a like ground next to a dock, and the dock was like going into the water. You know what I'm saying? And the water had like a beast. You know what I'm saying? It was like some type of monster with giant tentacles, part reptile, and it was just looking nasty. Like it was there, and I was like a kid, and it was like, you got to fight that. I was like, I got to fight that. Like, why? I just got here. I just fell here, and I was touching the ground. Everything else was important to me. I was like, yo, the ground, this thing out here, you couldn't make me. I was a kid. I was like, nah, you ain't about to make me. I was like, I don't know. I didn't like that dream. It was the first dreams I was having as a kid. It was like I was going to face, and it was telling me that that thing was the system. It's a fat, nasty beast tentacle. Like it's just stuff you ain't gonna want to get involved in. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that you're not gonna want to deal with. And I was always shown that in different attributes to the value of how the system is. You would see it in different retrospects, but it would always manifest into that visual. Like you're outside of that, but that's what everybody goes into or is devoured by, right? So understanding that it's the process of the beginning thoughts that you need to hold on to is always the most the most fearful when you first came here as a kid, because that's your spirit getting adjusted to being in a physical body. And as you start to get older, you know what I'm saying, you feel the change of that happiness of being like you're stable, all right, cool, I'm in life. And then you have to be tested with the world, right? The things of what merges you into what they i.e. call adulthood or priorities, standards, and stuff of that nature. So understanding that these are different energies that come from particular values to keep you away from a spiritual energy. And this is it's deep, yo, because you have everything you need with you, but being able or having the space and the time to focus on these God-given energies, these universal pretenses, these etheric gifts that are given to you naturally when you are flooded by so many worries of the system or circumstances of the system, they don't allow you to focus on what you are or what you have to offer. Okay. And you don't even think about or see anyone to say, I'm going to do this for them unconditionally with no reason for return and value, just for my spirit. That's what I'm doing it for, my spirit. Because my spirit will be happy. My spirit can't obtain anything physically anyway. So my spirit gains energy off of the concept of spiritual concepts. When someone is happy, their heart feels good. Where does that energy go? Who feeds off that? Your spirit. You got to know this. So sometimes when energies is getting thrown out and you get a negative response when it gets to you, like it gets to you and then you feel bad afterwards. Whatever that energy is, whatever the words are, whatever the circumstances, you feel bad afterwards. That means the equation was meant to equate to you feeling bad. So what do you feel? What are you feeding with that particular bad energy? Because everything that we're dealing with is energy. It's not about the words. The words is how we're concepting these things, which ultimately is okay. But once I start understanding that this is the energy play, I got to understand who's being fed with this energy and who's being fed with that one. I got to find out. This is why I mean, when I speak to people in the incremental science, I say volatility. What are you volatile with when you're mixing different circumstances, i.e., people, places, and things? Do you understand what it feels like, or did you document how many times you've been in different circumstances, or are you just saying, I can handle this now because I've been knocked around my whole life? No, this is volatility you were supposed to understand and comprehend, so therefore you can place this vessel that protects the prince, the princess, the kingdom that holds the prince. You can place it in a better land. It's the kingdom that mystically moves. It's the Wizard of Oz. It's Pan's Labyrinth. It's the gateless gate. Okay. We're going to talk about this real fast because I'm going to go into a commercial after this one. Matter of fact, I'm going to wait because that's a deep concept. That's a deep concept. So let me just go ahead into a commercial, and then we'll get into this one because this takes us to a whole nother level. This is going to take us somewhere else, y'all. So I hope you're ready. Let's go. Grand rise, live rise, grand afternoon, grand evening, everything's going to come in between. You already know what it is. It's Naga's core commercials. We still going. Some of the channels that I be watching, you already know the vibes. Subscribe to them, show them some love, man. Support. That's how we going to keep everything going. So, you know, I'm probably going to play all my commercials today. You already know the vibes. Naga. Okay, so much, yo, so much, so much, so much, so much, so much. All right, and I wanted to elaborate once again on the fact that most of the chosen people, they think because we take on so much badgery, we get hit and beat down, and we are opposed with so much negative energy that we are just deemed to be placed in a hole or something. Like that's not even the issue. Like if you didn't go through so much, you wouldn't know the level of what you can take. And then also, if you didn't go through so much, you wouldn't recognize what different intervals, what that's the intervals, what different individuals are willing to dish out. Like you can see, you can measure and ratio this value. You know what I mean? So that is strong for you. That is not a failure. That's actually a win. And there's more that I wanted to say on these values, but I have to write them down because they keep dipping in like a dolphin swimming. And it's like there's a certain time I was supposed to speak on it, but every time it dips in, it comes in like this, and I'm like, there it is. And it's like soon as it comes up, it jumps right out the water, like not right now, and it jumps right back in the water. And it's like I ain't going nowhere. Though. I'm gonna stay right here because it's a time for it. So that little piece of knowledge is like just jumping in and out of the water, and I can't catch it particularly. So I have to wait so I can write it down. And I wrote down so many things. So yeah, just saying that, you gotta be mindful that you're not this is not what you're not stuck here for that. Divine didn't have that as a purpose. That's why divine gave you so many gifts. That's why the ether endowed you with so many gifts. You have these gifts because imagine if we can awaken the power of just the want to give what you have for yourself, particularly to 10, 20 people in your area, 100 people in your area by your own choice. Then you teach people how to do this for themselves. Then they start giving to probably the same people that you're dealing with. So now we multiply this energy within each of us. So now, in particularly, we are all given of ourselves, whatever that may be. Somebody may cook, somebody may build, somebody may do this, somebody may do that. Everybody's just giving of themselves. That value is going to be important because everybody's not going to get it. So while we are accumulating off of one another by giving what we love, ultimately, that is an exchange rate. Then you have built an exchange rate, ultimately. The class multiplies on its own. You're just doing what you love. Whatever that is, you start with the smallest parts and you give that. You accumulate. You're going to have to put something into it. I'm working on getting some things so I can have it set up to give to people now. It's gonna be a damn pop up here. Like I got these, yo. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do this. Boom. And I'm gonna let it rock out for a month and see how it goes. I'm gonna play it every day. You know what I'm saying? I got some other things working, you know what I mean? And me involving other people. Like, you know what? I'm just gonna give my skills to even more people and just keep stretching out as far as I can. You know what I'm saying? Opening the door for as many people as I can, even if I don't have anything. I'm still gonna keep opening the door because you know what? It's called opportunity. And if you're not a part of the flow, you're a part of the blockage. So even if I'm at the beginning of the river, in the middle of the river, at the end of it, I'm trying to help it move, baby. You already know the vibes. So let's get into this topic. Now, this next piece I wrote down, it came to me from watching a particular brother speak. And I'm gonna be honest on that because honesty, I think, or me being real to my pretenses, speak to a higher value of um, compassion. And I heard the brother speak to two things, and ultimately, me understanding what he was speaking to, I concepted that to be a breakdown of how I need to mathematically look at it. So he spoke to the value of the angles and the waves. Now, I've always through all my bills, I spoke to angles or angels, breaking this down probably 10 years ago, 12 years ago about angels literally being angles of light. These are different perceptions or aspects or characteristics that you can use to find out different particular knowledge or different ways to execute value in your life, right? So the waves particularly, is the universal energy. Now, the way the brother spoke on it, he spoke on it, um, he spoke on it, he spoke on it in the value that one is feminine and one is masculine, right? And I thought that was dope. You know what I'm saying? Because the masculine would be the angles, it would be the more linear, you know what I'm saying? And then the feminine would be the wisdom. That's the connection in between 2 points, right? So it started getting powerful. And it was like, you know what? Ultimately, that's a waveform. That wave speaks to why we're actually male and female counterparts here, understanding that we combined as male and female counterparts to create a life. This same concept was a retrospective reality because ultimately you're combining the understanding of the universal waves, the angles, and the waves. So if you can mentally combine the universal aspect of the angles, the conceptions of aspect with the wisdom, the waves, the 2 points between two powers of information, you create a whole new understanding. Everything always falls into the middle. So this was what I wrote down to explain this to you, was combining the waves and angles as the new concept of reality. And because people looked at these concepts in so many different ways, they got they got thrown for a loop. You see what we got combining around here these days. You see people thinking, I just do this and I'll become that. And they don't understand. And they get hit with the energy and they start being whole other people. You got people just wanting to be everything these days. Like, I'm like, oh, wow. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to go on into the conversation, but I seen this one dude in Canada. He wanted to marry his laptop. And he was serious, yo. He had on glasses. he had the button up. He had one of them like 1989 church shirts on with the stripes. You know what I'm saying? He had a button up with like the open button right here that it came out. Right, it wasn't a butterfly, but it came out like right there. And he had like a lot of grease in it. Was a white dude. He had a lot of grease in his hair. You know what I'm saying? It was like parted to the left and like the little Farrakhan part. You know what I'm saying? And he had the big glasses on with the brown outline. He was smiling. He was like, "Yes, I'm gonna marry my computer. They loudest." I'm like, "Yo." He was serious. He did a whole, I don't know if it was Good Morning America or something. It was something on TV. This dude was so adamant. Yo. He was like, yes, because she's just wonderful. She's just the best thing ever. I'm like, yo, this world is crazy. But ultimately, you know what I'm saying? Anything that has a detriment to the value of natural life pretenses will get an air of love. It'll get an air of it'll get an uplift like it's supposed to be. This is why you hear every negative. Don't question why negative things take place. They take place because it's the opposite of where it is. It's the contrast of where the foundation, the existence of life itself is based off unconditional love. Go look into the woods. You'll see a vine wrapping around the tree, choking the shit out of it. I'm serious. Go to a tree and look at the vines, how they wrap around the tree, and go move that vine. I bet you that vine has made an indention in that tree. But you never hear that tree scream, holler, cry, nothing. They in the springtime they bloom together. The flowers be wrapped around the tree. the tree open up its jaw. You know what I'm saying? Like it just be looking beautiful. We understand that the the imperfections of how things move through life together is what makes it beautiful. If you just had straight lines, it would be plain. You see what I'm saying? If you just had waves, it would be weird. You know what I'm saying? Like so this is the understanding of this reality that we deal with. We're taking the sour with the sweet. You see what I'm saying? We're taking the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? We're taking the light with the lighter. You know what I'm saying? We're taking the heavy with the heaviest. Everything is imbalanced. But to be able to understand the concept of bringing those two together is where the reality starts to perplex divinity. That's when you start to match that value of divinity because you've been able to concept that reality. You've been able to see that and you can carry yourself within that understanding instead of trying to balance one or other sides. There's no fear to understand. People gonna always think they want to hurt you. People gonna always want to move things. They gonna always want to be in your shoes. That's because they're on their own path to decide on what side they gotta be on. That's why you don't judge. Coming from the perception of what you gain for yourself is the reason why you're even seeing these things. But to me, just to watch it, that's something different. I'm watching. I can see this. I understand. I overstand. I understand because I see the process of once one side is down, that's coming. Me understanding, comprehending contrast is what I'm supposed to be doing. So then, if I understand contrast, then I can understand where you are at in your growth. Should I judge you at your growth place? No, I should not. I should understand, and overstand that this is a place of growth. And if it's allowed to be here, because best believe there's things that came out of the womb and died, even though they thought they were going to be concepted into a reality of life. They figured the energy got here. It went through the process of entering through someone's pineal gland. The concept of the life reality started more merging in between that and whatever consummated with that situation, and they came into fruition, and it fell down into a womb, and it started growing, and it bust through the egg that was inside, and it started stretching out whatever limbs it was going to particularly have. And it said, "Was you know what? Now my next step is to get out of this water, dock. I got to get out the water and go dock on the bay. Now I have to dock on the bay. If I dock on the bay, if I fall and I hit the ground and I'm right on the dock, then that means I'm here." See, when I hit the ground when I was falling, that just symbolized that I was here completely. All the pieces fell in. And now I was ready, even though I didn't think I was. So this is an understanding of perplexity, how things take place. You got to see where you want to be. And some things, when they came out and they tried to dock, they died. And you don't hear about it. So now to keep it normal, things that live that can fit in society of how equally we may visualize each other as far as a look or see or how you can move in society normally is what we call natural or human. You don't know what's human around you no more because your reality base of what you think is real is only perplexing to what somebody shows you. You know what I'm saying? Is reality. So that's people with two arms, a head, and clothes driving a car and may have a job. That doesn't symbolize human. That symbolizes the word what they call normal. And normal to us is natural, nature. It's unnormal is unnormal. It's all the imperfections put together. So your mind will gravitate to this as normal because it's a bunch of imperfections at its root. But you can't see that. Now, with that being said, we're gonna get into the next topic. Yeah, it gets deep, yo. It gets real deep. Dehydration and the levels. I was a brother that I be dealing with on Facebook, man. It was crazy because I was writing down my notes yesterday, right? And then I happened to stop and he had put a post up or whatever. Brother from Africa, the one I was gonna do when I was gonna do the live with, but he be busy, so I couldn't catch him. Congo Y2, he had put a post up. He was like, "Yo, they be talking about it's the water. You be dehydrated from the water. Nah, you dehydrated because the minerals that's supposed to be in the water and not in your body. Like the real salt content, the minerals that are in salt supposed to be in the water, the trace minerals. So if you don't have that, your body does not literally feel nourished. You never felt like, and this is crazy because I had some things before to where, and I ain't gonna speak on who gave it to me because where they at, they rest. So you know what I'm saying? Like what they gave me before they went to rest, I would mix it with the water, and the water you would feel it in your joints, like somebody was oiling your joints up. You know what I'm saying? Like you like, yo, I never felt water go to my joints, like it's in my knee. Like you would literally feel like the bubbles. It's like, yo, it felt good, like your body felt lubricated. Like I went outside and cut some backflips. I was like, yo, I can still do this. It felt good. You know what I'm saying? This was like in my late 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, yo, it's crazy. So you be dehydrated, and they try to add more things out of a science that you're understanding and tell you it's good for you, but ultimately it dehydrates you. So we look at sugar, but it's sugar because sugar ignites an endorphin in our brain. So they don't have to tell you that sugar is good. Your brain gonna tell you that sugar is good because sugar can blind an endorphin. It can walk up on an endorphin like this and make an endorphin think it's good, and then help that endorphin come out. But the residue it leaves behind is an acid, which starts to degrade or break down in the body. You know what I'm saying? This is where you get cancers from. But it still ignites the endorphin. So it has like a double-edged sword. This is why sugar is a drug. So understanding that weed, right, mixed with other natural things, boosts the understanding of not being a part of these things. Like they don't like natural they don't like these natural, like it's not a plant out there that's really, plants can kill you, right? They can kill you. But the higher mineral content you have in your body, it's like having enough water flow in your body to dilute certain things. But when you are filled up with a lot of what the world has to offer, your body is finicky to natural things. So this is why you actually get an effect. There's people out here who don't deal with the worldly ways of eating, drinking, and sleeping, how we do. And they're still in nature, but they out here drinking, they out here drinking they out here drinking snake poison to get high or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it opens up synapses in their brain. Or somebody's taking a seed that has some potency in it that'll do something indifferent to you. You got to understand that life is set on levels. So no matter what a people are, I'm not going to allow man to process natural things for me and then turn around and give it back to me. That's the idiocy. That's like the wool over your eyes. You're saying in order for me to have what nature's given me, I have to wait for a truck or a company or a factory to do these things for me to go to this convenient building to get that. Nah, you are killing off the understanding of the spiritual connection to everything that you are. You are that. Those things that are created, they're just formulated in a different way. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said in my song, when I was like, I can see the sun, I can see the gold from the sun come up through the turmeric. It's starring Eve Bailey some time I'm cooking food again. I can see the gold from the sun come up through the turmeric. It's a circle. It's a complete circle. It manifested in its own way for it to be that way. It's not literal gold, but I know gold is an essence that remnants through the whole earth. So anything in a gold aspect, it has the metabolic natural pretense of gold. It doesn't have the gold to a value to where I can touch it. It's gold. This is why you got fool's gold. This is why you got powder gold. This is why you got the color gold and different things. The same with everything else in life. The potential of the stream of existence coming from the universe, they're all connected. The rainbows, look at a rainbow. You got all the colors. So you can't tell me you look at a flower and see red in the rainbow, violet in a flower, see violet in the sky. It's the same thing. It's no different. These are frequencies. They are all frequencies. So me lining that up as an understanding is where the power at. Me sitting down saying, okay, I see how that came from the universal aspect all the way down to a flower. I see how that came from the universal aspect all the way down to a river. I see how that came from the universal aspect all the way down to a cherry. I see how that came from the universal aspect all the way down to an insect. This is you being mindful of the concept of the universe being a part of all things. Watching it work and play, not telling people to believe in falsities. No, you're watching the actuality of divine pretense and divine energy in real time. You don't have to be delusional. You don't have to take nothing from nobody. You don't have to listen and sit in no. Divine is everywhere. Everywhere. The flow is always around you. When there is hardly no life at all, and when there's tons of life, the value is still equal. You concepting and understanding that value is something completely different. You being aware of the spiritual energy in the depths of how large this existence is to the creation of the waves that come into the existence that give us life. The reason we're able to sit down and feel right and wrong, good and bad, hot and cold, push and pull. To know all those things exist is the experience. That's the wonderful part. You sitting in the middle, letting these things take place. You're experiencing them. I felt that pull. That was wonderful. Oh, I felt that too. Oh, that was good. Oh, that was all right. Oh, that was okay. But you're not damaging nothing outside of your thinking. You are just absorbing and experiencing. You're giving the spiral energy, the life that's downloaded into you, that's coming into you, coalescing. You're letting the settlement settle inside of you to where you can stand higher. The head is above the shoulders, spiritually. Okay. Understanding that dehydration and the mineral concept works in so many different attributes to where you want to really be on the height of how the synapses work, knowing that electricity conducts through salt water. You know what I'm saying? That gives you a higher level of synapses, right? So dehydration works on so many different levels unbeknownst to you. You drink a whole cup of water feeling like that did what you need to do, but that water doesn't have minerals in it. Is it going to serve you any purpose? Does it have the things in your body to match up with your body? Your body actually produces baking soda, right? Your body produces baking soda and peroxide. That's why your mouth gets a cotton mouth. That's the peroxide building up. I don't make this stuff up. This is just the reality of truth. So understanding that you have to keep this mineral content at a certain level with water will allow the water to flow. Now, if I'm outside in a river and I dig holes in this river, I take chunks out of this river, you see what I'm saying? Eventually what's going to happen? If it doesn't have a slate or something under it to help that water flow, the water's going to sink. It's going to dry up. It's not going to have a flow. So when they give you these acids and they take out the minerals and the body depletes the minerals in your body, now the water can't flow through you correctly. What happens to water that can't flow? It becomes stagnant. So you can have stagnant pools of water inside of you. That means they're not producing electricity. That means you're not getting the synapses that you need for the knowledge, and you're missing out on what's good for your life. Just saying. So with that being said, let's jump into another commercial. You already know the vibes. How we ride. I hope this knowledge is doing something for you. Please support my channel. Links are always in the description or on the page when I'm going through. Yeah, you know. All right, let's keep cooking. Grand Rise. You already know what it is. Naga's core commercials. Boop. All right, yo, I got some more core commercials for y'all, some more channels I'll be digging, you know what I'm saying, that I'm really into or whatever. Check these channels out right here and enjoy. You already know the vibes. Naga.
finally here, you all, the Fearless Oracle deck designed by Rachel Photon, a 99 card deck that comes with a free 72-page PDF guidebook. It's easy to use and shuffle with smooth finish that allows for easier handling of the deck. Even if you are a beginner, you can start reading within an hour or less, especially using the detailed how-to section in the guidebook that teaches you how to read upright, sideways, and reversed cards, as well as how to set up your readings. These cards were designed to help you gain clarity on your spiritual journey and are a powerful tool to help illuminate the hidden, enlighten the soul, and to help guide you along your divine missions while fulfilling your life purpose. The Fearless Oracle cards are meant to be a form of entertainment and as spiritual guidance to empower and illuminate your life journey and your life experiences. With knowing how to read the cards in reverse, you open up many other layers of reading to gain benefits from using these oracle cards, so it seems as though it is 4 or more decks in one.
I'm here. Okay. I just had before I jump into Oprah, I ain't gonna even jump on Oprah right now, but I'm gonna get to Oprah in a minute. But I just had something that hit me, and it was supposed to be said. Questions and answers, answers and questions. Majority of the time, if you can just slow yourself down, one would come with a question, and the question may be, why are these things a certain way? And sometimes the heavier questions can only be answered in the same form from the person or places and things who was in the initial place of the circumstance. This could have been a different time. But other things are answered as such of your own particular time. So when you have things that are resonant within your time and they are an issue, majority of the time it reflects your actions. So, i.e., if you're not receiving this from a particular aspect, you would ask yourself, did you give it? How much of that did you give? And after you've been on your spiritual aspect of the contrast and it doesn't play the role, it's asking you, why are you still after understanding your own wisdom? See, knowledge, you know, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. So once you have applied and you don't gain, then this is the understanding, unless you have another attribute to that. But being subsequently stuck to the value of the negative energy, that's not a retrospect. That's like you missing the fact that you're being applied to this value. That's like you're saying, you know what I'm saying, you didn't obtain a knowledge to understand the placement. You're just saying, well, I did. No, you have to look at that as, it's like if I feed a dog, did he eat it? Am I going to put more food in the bowl if he didn't eat that? No, you got to eat what's in there. He obviously ain't hungry or something wrong with him. You see what I'm saying? So one or two things, you have to adjust your life to these same particular values when it comes to winning and losing on your particular energy. So that's just a shamanistic way of looking at your own self. Most of the time, the answers in life that you might be searching for are directly in the problem that you are speaking about. And ultimately, we can be attached to anything that this world has to offer. But knowing when dealing with the world and trying to obtain your truth, there's always going to be manipulation and trickery, because the bounds of that connection is within the validity of the system, which is based on everything opposite of naturality. So if it was natural, it would have flowed to you with no problem. You see what I'm saying? But since it's unnatural, it comes with all these rocks and stones and glass in the road. You know what I mean? So to understand the systematic ways of things and how they work and the natural flow of things, it's easy to pick out detriment. It's easy to pick out the attempt of detriment. It's easy to pick out the ultimate value to produce the equation of negative or positive feelings to the particular equation. You can see these things before they actually take place by the individuals in the circumstances, i.e., their natural emotions and past references, or what they're doing presently in your face. Like, this is how large the perplexity starts to give you value on what you're actually looking at. It's like I can see how you come and where you go. It's not even nothing to think about. And in between, when it meets the value of the ultimate end, that's supposed to be fluidity. That's supposed to be liquid. So whenever it's never liquid, you already know the intention is based in the approach. Whenever that approach does not speak to fluidity, I don't need an answer. You just told me everything with that one motion. You remember the dude that borrowed $5? And then the dude he borrowed $5 was back 5 minutes, like, yo, get my $5. He's like, man, take your little funky ass $5. Just borrowed this shit for you 10 minutes ago. Just saying. Energies speak to themselves. People like to say, I did something, to act like you are a victim. You are never a victim. I remember when we was in school back in the day, and be like, yo, he snuffed me. How you get snuffed? Ain't you had beef with him? You wasn't ready? You ain't get snuffed, nigga. You got caught sleeping. That's something different. You got beef. You keep your eyes open. You know what I mean? And understanding this value. How many of you walk around sleep right now talking about they did me wrong? What is wrong? Wrong is only opposite to what you feel is right. So that means it serves somebody. So I don't think it was wrong. It might have been right for them and just not right for you. So that means you're volatile. That means you're in a volatile situation that you're agreeing to be in. That means you're in a volatile circumstances that you are agreeing to be in, knowing that the outcome every time you mix within these circumstances, it does not serve you. You know that. You see it. You've experienced it. You see, no matter what you do, you see that outcome does not serve you. So what is your next move? Obtain some type of value to where you can set yourself up some other way and just move on. Whatever that means for the particular understanding, whether that's i.e., whatever energy, your job, placement, life, whatever, in every situation, conversation, the neighbor next door, I don't give a fuck what it is. You are to keep your energy, your innocence in the palace. The prince is to be protected. The queen, the princess, is to be protected at all costs. So she can feel, or he can feel, at his height or her height of energy of giving. Because that's what divine does. It's a flow. Everything coming off the flow, baby. The flow stop, everything stops. It's a big responsibility. It's a big responsibility to know that you're being used. Everybody uses the flow. Without the flow, there's no life. You have nothing to mirror yourself behind it without the flow. Negative can't be negative without seeing what positive looks like. Listen. Negative cannot be negative without seeing what positive looks like. Your place mark is like a thumbtack. They say unstoppable force hits the unmovable object. a Rubik's Cube. It's a box. It's super deep. And it's not even to be like, yo, my mind just blew up just now. You know what I'm saying? It's to be able to harness the value and say, all right, then if I know this, how does that work for me? Because you're not initially in none of these feelings knowing that they float around you. You could just stay in whatever feeling you can smile and be, you can frown and be happy. You can frown. I'm just saying, like, look, at the end of the day, you do it how it benefits your growth. And that's the ultimate thing. All right? Excuse me. You do it how it benefits your growth. And that's the ultimate thing. If you can do that, then you start seeing life for what it is at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So your energy has a switch on it. You are in control of that button. Stop letting your energy be used so freely like it has to be turned on because everything you hear and say, you think is real. That is not true. Not even intentional energy is real until you accept it. It can be all intentional wherever it's at. It can mean everything it says wherever it's at. But until it's in the parameter in your space, it is not real. Know what I'm trying to tell you right now, yo. And when it's time, don't go to the light, go into the darkness. So you set free. Become the light of your own darkness. You already know the vibes, man. Let's get into another commercial. Woo, we're going to get into Oprah after this. Yeah, I'm about to come for Oprah Net real quick. That's one of punk ass commercials. I said, no, she didn't. And then you hear what she's saying? Man, I said, I know people seeing this right now, but I don't think Divine letting that energy get out. I don't think Divine gonna let it ring out because it was like so mediocre. The energy was so mediocre. You know what I mean? But yeah. Yeah, you already know the vibes. How y'all doing? I hope y'all been enjoying my core commercials. Well, this is 6 more. And for right now, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna grab no more after this. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the last set. I'm just gonna snatch. But if you're interested in being in the stream, these set core commercials that you've been seeing me play and keep in rotation, I'm going to be upgrading, pushing for them. I'm going to keep promoting for them, and it's going to get larger and better. You know what I mean? So they will be promoted just out of the kindness of my heart. These are my channels that I chose to deal with. With that being said, let's get into these core commercials. Now. Okay. Without me, right? Without me badgering the name I just called out before I went to the commercial, you're gonna notice people at their lowest attempt right now saying things that you already have the complete science on, like going real left. Like it is just it's like, well, why would you even say that? Like it was, I'm like, yo, you know what? Shorty was like, you don't gotta vibrate high if you want to get you ain't got to do that. All you got to do is this. I'm like, and she told me I got a book. And I'm like, what are you talking about, lady? She even said some other things that downplayed um some of the processes that people focus on a lot, you know what I'm saying? That naturally is the basics to some of this understanding when you're focusing on your spirituality. So ultimately that spoke to a bigger value than just what she was saying, you know what I mean? Like, because you see people every day around you downplaying a level of something that you might have obtained, that you know and feel that it's a process that you're ready to walk on, or a process that you've been walking on, but somebody just ain't feeling your process. So ultimately you got these people floating around playing Oprah, you know what I'm saying, jumping on commercials and stuff, trying to be like, look, if you want to get, you don't have to vibrate high. All you got to do is this, and this will work. Well, we already know that high vibrations come from the universe anyway. So certain frequencies and a physical attribute only exist on a low vibration. So in order to get to a high vibration, you have to vibrate high. If I stay low, I'm not gonna get nowhere. So what are you talking about? It's all good though. You know what I'm saying? Like people be out here just saying stuff because they need to control. When you are praised as an individual, you want to keep that control. It's almost like, what's that movie? Uh the dude was like, release the Kraken. Release the Kraken. And the girl was up there like, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember that movie? I can't remember what it was, the whatever, yo. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But they was mad, and his brother was Poseidon and Zeus and Hades and all that. And it was like, they used to pray to us. They used to pray to us so much. And now they don't. They're ungrateful. I will not give them no support. And then the Titans was trying to come out. It was like, we could not release them. We cannot let them get powerful again. Yo, it's crazy. Just like that. Just like that. It works just like that. So ultimately, it's an egotistical value to every understanding. When you see people that do not want you to rise in your own particular right, and they are downplaying everything that you do, these monolithic, romanticized stories are used to gauge your emotional concept to this reality. So you have to not take these things, and this is what supposedly the grain of salt was meant. But a grain of salt got so much value in it. So I can't just take it like a grain of salt, because a grain of salt is good for you. So if I take it like something that's good for you, that means I'm digesting it. Nah, I'm not gonna be able to do it, especially if it's real salt. Feel me? So with that being said, I'm kind of waking up to particular values that, you know what? If you don't feel it, don't rock with it. I don't care what it is. Try to fight to be yourself. I don't care what that means. If you like it, love it. You dig what I'm saying? If that's what you into, do that. Make that your thing. Cause that's what's missing from the world. Your thing. You know what I'm saying? And see, you think I'm bullcrap? 6 companies in the entire world own everything. Between each of those 6 companies, they own all other companies, subsidiaries. Gotta think about what I'm trying to tell you right now. So that means they want to consolidate these energies because it's too much strength. It's too much strength. You can't always keep their heads in bondage. Like no matter what you try, you can't always keep people head like that. Eventually, all these problems that you causing is got to be answered for. You can't kill 7 million people and nobody don't know. eventually you're going to be on the wrong side of history. But people don't think like that. They don't think like that because change has to happen. That's just the ebb and flow of life. And once you place yourself in that box to deal with the contrast itself, the energy speaks to the ebb and flow. So you can't get in the box and then don't think you ain't gonna go tumbling down. That's what the box does. It's not a nice smooth ride. It's up and down. You ever fell in a box as a kid? It's a weird feeling because you're hitting corners as you roll. Let me understanding these values. And the universe does not take you far away from the same vibration of the existence. It's your comprehension that matters. So people are attacking the value or using the value of how much you like them just to get you to listen to a level of, could be idiocy, could be false rhetoric. If it fires your endorphins, then you know what? It's good for them. See, we got to get back to allowing everything to have its own particular light, because you're not even going to know what's even good for you until you can shine for yourself and know what that even looks like. So if everybody trying to teach you how to clean yourself up, opposed to you cleaning yourself up how the universe has it already laid in existence, the waves that come from the universe that manifest down here, that has a pathway for you to particularly find, because your body is in tune with that already. Come on, man. I'd never go somewhere where people do stuff a lot and tell them they ain't supposed to do that. That's where they from. That's like me going to Iceland and be like, y'all like ice? Or the type of stuff they make over there. I'm like, yo, that's what y'all do. We don't do that. You better be as what they say used to say, as in Rome, or you would die. You know what I'm saying? So it depends on the area. But bringing somebody else's area to your area, that's where things get wrong, right? You know what I mean? So this is when you get a melting pot of people saying, this is our culture, we can do what we want. Even if people abuse their culture in their culture, that's their choice. That's their choice. You don't come in and say, you know what, I don't think, who are you? You're not even part of my culture. Like, think about this. You get somebody who ain't a part of your culture telling you how to do your culture. And whatever that means for you. People break up the value of your culture and tell you what parts of your culture you can do and what parts you can't. Y'all still sitting there talking about how we gonna work something out. And look, we need everybody, man. Everybody not concepting what this reality is right now. You're not concepting how it's happening. You're just talking about the mathematical value of the situation and the understanding of being this because we are this and this because we come from that and I'm Aborigine and I'm the best. And everybody just like us. It's just so corny right now. Like, you can't keep saying and being a part of the same system without a solution. You can't stand up on a podium and say you are this and everything you come from is still at the lowest level. Like, to be a representative means you represent a value of an accomplishment. What are you accomplishing for your people that was so strong that it lifted everybody? Everybody felt that. Everybody received from that value. If you are a king outside within the system of things, first and foremost, that will never be the retrospect because you're only a king of the kingdom of self. And this is a reality, but being the image of what that looks like correctly, collectively, will guide people to their own higher value of self, which starts to mend itself together as universal values. This is gravity. Goes right over people's heads. And none of this, it doesn't really matter because it's all folding in and folding out. You're just going to experience this life. And then, depending on the outcome of your comprehension of experiencing this life, you're going to experience the levels you missed in another one. It's going to replicate over and over and over and over. And I wanted to speak to something. I heard people say, somebody said in this one particular build, it was like, yeah, we might have been women in our last lives. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. It's more stern than that. It's more strict than that. You're only the sum of the attribute of the equation of what you gather in your height of conscious and subconscious value to your next transmute. If you come back in another situation, you're not going to come back as a woman to serve the purposes or the detriment of what you've done in their last life. You're going to serve that over here. You're going to be in the same situation, similar, but the things you're probably going to want the things you didn't do right in your last life even more, but it's going to like be at your fingertips. You see what I'm saying? It's going to be in your fingertips. And because this plays out in certain roles, you have more inadmissibles, you know what I'm saying, depending on these particular values. If you come back and you did everything right in your last, you're going to have so many gifts. You're going to have so many gifts that'll prepare you. Things are going to always constantly work. No matter how much they bang at you, it's going to always work. You'll be like, yo, I ain't worried about it. You know you did something good. You did something good to be granted that amnesty in your life. You did something great in your last life. And this is how you be able to re-engineer these particular values of understanding. Some people hold on to particular energies. Why are you holding on to it? You know, that's like looking back. So something happened in your past life the way you held on to something, and when you came here, that energy is very strong and is resonant. So you learning to let go in the early stages will benefit your future here now. This is why that energy be so prevalent when you're young. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's certain energies that you dealt with a lot as a kid, but the universe don't see you in age. They only you as placement. So if you could have learned that as a kid, it would have been great for your future. You know what I'm saying? It kind of works like that. But then you get the system outside of you that comes around and pushes this more on you to make it linger, right? Because you're a child, right? You're a kid. You don't know. So then it manifests into your adult life. You might have understood it, but it left because so many other downloads is coming in just to make you grow. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gets so deep to where it's like, yo, I actually had a conversation like that with self one time. I remember. And then you get to hold on to that frequency every so often. And you know it. Every last one of you in the world know it. You touch it one time and you remember that level of truth, but you forgot. And then your flesh was tested and then you chose other things or whatever. I ain't gonna hold you. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to tell y'all too. If I got like 10 tracks, right? Of exclusive professional music, smooth guitar playing and all that. I'm gonna play one of them right now. If y'all might have heard me play it in the meditation, it's fire. That's for sale. I even got the rights to it. So if you want that song or any other tracks that I may have, holla at me. I can get you. I got the exclusive rights and the exclusive track, and it'll be free for you to do whatever you want. Make a song to it, sell it to somebody else, do whatever you want. Stream it out forever if that's what you want to do. And they're perfect. Like, these are some nice, like, you know what I'm saying? Some of us are country joints, but it's still hard. How I get it? I got it directly from somebody who gave it to me, who told me the same thing I'm telling y'all. So you already know the vibes. I might as well keep sharing the love, stay at the flow. So here, check this out right here. It's pretty fly. I just, I did the graphics for it and all that, but you know what I mean? Ultimately, the music is powerful, you know what I'm saying? I got a bunch of these tracks. So, you know what I mean? If anybody is interested, I can hit you with some graphic value, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. If that's what you want, or it can come in any form, or you can actually have this one if that's what you want, you know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't advise it. See, that's pretty hard, right? That's pretty dope. Like the beat is dope. I was trying to screenshot the other one real quick and get it over there because I didn't do it. I wanted to play it on here. I should have did it earlier, but I didn't. It's taking a little minute. You know what I'm saying? Normally go fast, but it is what it is. But yeah, so while that's doing that, if I can get it over there in time, then you know what I'm saying, I'll play it real quick. But I don't know, it's kind of moving slow. I don't know, but yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, we kind of at the end now. We almost at 1:50. You know what I mean? But yeah, yeah, I'm doing. I got a lot going on the plate in the background, and I'm keeping silent. You know what I'm saying? Trying to silently work. But I hope my knowledge has been helpful today, as far as all the points that I touched on and different aspects. If you need to go back through it, because I touched on a whole bunch of stuff, you know, and excuse me. Oh, excuse me. I touched on a whole bunch of stuff, and yeah, it's a lot of knowledge in there. You know what I'm saying? So support the channel, share, you know what I mean, and everything else that comes with that value. Do that for me, please. I would appreciate it. Like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Even after, if you catch it later, you know what I mean. I appreciate the love and support and all that. You know, stay with me if you interested in life processes and how the world is hitting you and trying to understand what that looks like in a scientific aspect. Go through my channels. The easy way to go find it is to go to the community section. There's incremental science in there. I got from 17B all the way to like 31 or 32 or something like that. But on my page, 17B down all the way to 1 is in the actual list. You have to go get it there. Yeah, I've been cooking for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I got over 900 videos. We probably almost at 1,000. I don't even know when I hit 100 mark. I don't even know. I just be dropping them and I keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even be knowing, but it's mad information on here. And then I got a whole nother page where you can see me. I look way different. I look way different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can see the energy transfer. You know what I mean? Like, so that's the NagaNeter Nuka page. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll see me. Like, I got a bunch of videos on there when I was transitioned like years ago. And I got another page too that I lost. I gotta find it. But that one had a bunch of videos on it too. So yeah, with all that being said, and this is only like a quarter way downloaded. It's not, it's like, I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna take my time. Like, cause I guess it know I wanna play it real quick, so it's trying to go slow. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna play not this one. I'm not gonna play that one. Not gonna play that one. I'm gonna play this commercial right here. And hopefully by the time this commercial's over, I like this one. Hopefully by the time it's over, then I can play this beat for you before I get off. And then, you know, you can just see a different one of the beats that I have. Have you ever seen a king in his castle? Or heard the stories of a child king running his kingdom? These stories have a foundation, an understanding, a perplexity, a paradigm. You understand that the child within you is given to you by divine energy, the pure energy given to you by the universe, is the king, is the prince, is the pure energy within you, and the body that you are is the castle, is the kingdom. And through other parts of your extremities, there's entryways for understanding, manipulation, growth, destruction, love, every concept of yin or yang. The head sits high above the shoulders. understanding for peace can be created in imagination. You are more than what you see in the mirror. You contain the functions and the blueprint of universal principle, universal structure, and placement. Learning to comprehend the stories within oneself changes you, sends you into eternity. Naga. Have you ever seen a king in his castle, or heard the stories of a child king running his kingdom? These stories have a foundation, an understanding, a perplexity, a paradigm. When you understand that the child within you is given to you by divine energy, the pure energy given to you by the universe, is the king, is the prince, is the pure energy within you, and the body that you are is the castle, is the kingdom. And through all other parts of your extremities, there's entryways for understanding, manipulation, growth, destruction, love, every concept of yin or yang. The head sits high above the shoulders. With a mind rest, the understanding for peace can be created in imagination. You are more than what you see in the mirror. You contain the functions and the blueprint of universal principle, universal structure, and placement. Learning to comprehend the stories within oneself changes you, sends you into eternity. Naga. And obviously that's still not enough time because I got like a quarter left now still to upload for this little piece of beat right here. So just give it a few seconds and I'm gonna upload it because it's almost there. There's no need for me to run now. Like, yeah, it's not there yet. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to check on out real quick. Nah, I'm gonna go ahead and wait because it's almost at the end. So let me see. I could play. Let me see. I can play. This is a creator of mine. If you guys seen this shit, but I call this Grand Rising. Beautiful Nagas. It's uplifting. I don't know. It gives me a good feeling of transforming and spring. So let's vibe with this for a few minutes, and then this upload should be finished. And then after I get this on there, let y'all check out this beat. I'm gonna go ahead and check on out. pretty dope, right? It's pretty dope, right? That's some fire right there. That's like that can be like a perfect R&B joint right there. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, no, you're not gonna find these accessible nowhere out there right now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you better get on them while you got a chance if you want them. And I got, like I said, I got 8 more of that. I got 8 more of that in the cut. Fire, fire. So yeah, it's not a game over here. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all coming through, showing some love. You know, the ones who in and out, and the ones who always stay. Salute to my moderator. You know what I'm saying? Shell from the blah 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 blah. Right, know the vibes. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Queen Karima for stopping through, and anybody else who stopped through. Salute to my man, my homie Congo Y2 on the Facebook side for showing the love. Appreciate you, brother. You already know the vibes all the time. I can't wait to get you on the show so you can talk that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but yeah, we up out of here. We done hit over 2 hours, man. We over 2 hours, man. You know, I ain't mean to go all that long. You know what I'm saying? I'm just cooling. I'm cooling how I be cooling. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do. You already know the vibes. Love. Naga.